Once again, it's a good morning, good evening, or good afternoon wherever you are on the planet. And if you're in some kind of like crazy ass place in Mars, whatever the Martian day is. We're here today with another video, and we're looking at the GUP Girls and Panzer, more commonly referred to as a GUP, but more so the Girls and Panzer Premium Tank Tier 5 Medium on the German side. This is going to be like another review of the actual tank itself and some gameplay included. Hopefully we'll have some decent games. And I want to give you a tour of the actual tank and show you what's about. The GUP, Girls and Panzer GUP, not a bad actual tank overall. I tend to stay away from playing Tier 5 premium tanks, more so because I have more luck in earning silver in higher tier tanks. But it doesn't take away from the fact that they're still fun to play. Unfortunately, it's not a premium match made tank, so it still plays up to tier 7. So you may have to start using premium rounds in order to pen some of the targets. But overall, you shouldn't have too much of an issue with penning them with the type of rounds you get. One of the first things we're going to be looking at is, as always, going to be your armor. This effectively, without a shadow of a doubt, is the Panzer Cow 4 Aus Heavy, if that's pronounced correctly. The one that you can find in your tech tree. It will be the one that is not fully upgraded. It's got the 7.5 gun rather than the 10.5. So effectively that tank is exactly the same. There is no difference between it. The tank overall has some very nice side scraping abilities, and the turret itself can also bounce around at extreme angles. It's not a bad little maneuverable tank as well because of the lightness. So if you have played what is going to be, if I can find it within the tech tree on one attempt, and there it is, Panzer IV Heavy with the 7.5, which is that one. And again, pretty much exactly the same. So your penetration, your rate of fire, accuracy, aim time is essentially the same. If you played this tank, this is exactly what the GUP is like itself, and it is going to have exactly the same details in relation to armor. The copula, I believe, is a little bit slimmer on the Girls and Panzer, but pretty much, again, exactly the same. If you played it, you will enjoy it. It's a nice little tier 5. It's nice to be able to get back into a game that's on a tier 5 basis where you can just play around and have fun. You're not having any serious nature of playing a larger tank or playing a tier 10 where it's all deadly serious. The actual tank itself, because of the way I usually do things, medium tank gun rammer events, and in this case enhance the gun lane drive, just to improve the accuracy a little bit and try and get it to actually aim in quicker. The tank itself, you can't add camo ratings, camos too, but you can't even add inscriptions either, which is kind of annoying, and the emblems as well. I would like to add a little 3 mark, but you can't in this case. My supplies, again, is going to be small because it's a tier 5 premium tank that isn't going to make that much silver, so adding on 20 grand's worth of silver equipment all the time is not going to be useful. And the tank itself, where is it? There we go, yeah, so I need to go back onto it. The penetration is not too shabby. Certainly in the case of a tier 5 game, you're going to be relatively useful. You're literally a top tier tank, so to speak, so it is rather useful to get yourself in a position where you can go forward, you can support your team. If you're in a tier 6 or 7 game, I'd probably hang back. Your hit points itself do become apparent that you don't have too much when you come across a fully upgraded T29 that can go hull down and remove you in a couple of shots. We're not even getting to the concept of the tier 7 TDs as well, which will quite happily shoot you for all the health that you have. So, without further ado, we're going to go into a game now and see how well we can actually play and see what you guys think to it. Here we are on port. We're in a tier 5 game. It's going to be relatively useful. I wouldn't say it's a tier 6 because of those that are in there, but we shall see what happens when we go forward. Because of the cover that I can be afforded down in the bottom corner, I want to go in H9. So I'm going to be going as quickly as possible. Nice little reload on the tank as well, so that's gonna help a lot, having a decent rate of fire, especially when you don't really have the necessary armor when you're up against tier 6 and 7s, when there's more of them in the game. I'm on the NAE server at the moment, so the population is rather low. Thankfully, again, because the actual speed of the tank is not too shabby, I must admit, at the tier 5 level, you are going to be a hell of a lot faster than the heavies. Fortunately, the T28 wants to join me and somehow make sure I'm out of his way. There is artillery in the game, so again, you have to be careful of that. I don't really want to be doing something where I'm going to be in line of fire of it, so I just need to make sure I'm out The M4 taking a dive forward, not really interested in who I am. That's all good. And just gotta make sure I don't do anything too stupid. T-34 going after the T-28, all very well and good. If we can try and take these out, that would be ideal. That rate of fire doing really well, the accuracy playing nice too. It's a nice camo rating he's got on, camo paint he's got on that tank. I keep saying camo rating, why do I do that? Unfortunately, T-28 got took out. It's not going to be too long until the M4 is removed as well. The rate of fire of the tank, oh, perfect. That was a HE shell fired by the KB-1, so again, you've got to be careful of that. I am detected and being shot at by artillery, so I'm going to use a little bit of cover and start hitting tanks which are further away. I want to try and make sure that my tank is in cover from the arty, and I also want to try and make sure that I'm not spotted by people. Unfortunately, again, just got to go and eventually meet people so they don't come through the speaker, and allow our team to come up. Because artillery is aiming in my direction and I've only got 215 health, any kind of shell that comes over from them is going to do a lot of damage to me. We're winning quite well, and I would presume the tanks down here are going to stay where they are. If not, they're not going to come in my direction. They're going to go towards the people who are spotted. And it looks to be a heavy tank. The KB wants to stay where he is. So we'll use the excellent rate of fire to see if we can get a couple of shots into him before he runs away. Nope. Oh, bugger. Ah! I was really surprised I actually got him in the turret there. Showing the standard rounds penetration, you don't always need to fire premium. Especially against tier 5, you don't need to. It's not a necessity. Thankfully, I should be able to outspot the KB before he spots me until I actually fire, so I'm going to move up. Get some sneaky little shots from cover. I think he'll still be looking in my direction. But again, I don't want to expose myself too much. But the side opportunities on the KB and using that ROF of the tank is something I want to aim at. Oh! They're both pointing in the other direction. Now, I believe his aim is going to be a bit poor. So I might be able to keep... Oh, I set him on fire as well. You can see him aiming in there. I think he's a bit annoyed somewhat. Moving backwards and forwards, making sure I'm not going to be a target for artillery. If he's moving forward as well, his bloom will be rather large. So we'll just leave him there for the time being and allow our team to move up. What a beautiful, beautiful game this turned out to be. And he's moved on up. He's given up on me because I'm going to be staying in cover. And then he goes and rolls off the edge. Oh, that's a shame. Oh well. We'll go and aim at the KB-85 that wants to try and take pot shots at me. Use penetration. What I'm going to do is shoot, move back. Oh, we got spotted. Because he's going to... I was undetected, so I want to make sure I'm in cover. And here's where we use the rate of fire. Again, moving, because artillery likes to hit targets that aren't moving if possible. Or, if you're in an OI, big, massive, heavy tank with lots of opportunities to get shots on. Turned out to be a fairly useful game for us. This is a tier 5, so it will be a different story in tier 7. I wouldn't say too much in a tier 6 game because you have your own team to back you up as well. Just make sure you don't do anything that tries to get you shot. It's very susceptible to HE rounds. If people know that, they will definitely fire them at you. The armor's not too particularly good, especially if you get hit in the rear, but then any tank will be. But overall, it's been a relatively good game for me. 60,000 silver, I must admit, in tier 5 isn't too bad, but it's not all the time that you'll see me doing that well. Getting close to the second mark of excellence. I will be trying to get that. But yeah, using the cover available to me, the opportunity to be able to take out tanks that were interested in T28. Thank you very much, Mr. Vando32. Good bait for the people coming towards me. The rate of fire is what helped out a lot. The penetration against the turret of the KB, very surprised at, but he always gets surprised by a lot of different tanks. And the overall damage that I ended up doing was purely because I was able to fire so many shots. 21 in total with 16 that actually penned. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Details in the description as well for other things such as Patreon as well if you do want to support. The tank, I will say, is a little bit different to other premiums. Just as a side note, the silver earning is only around about 35% with your XP at 40. As to how much XP you're actually going to use, well, that's all convertible stuff, so it's not really useful for that. But use it as a crew trainer. It can be a lot of fun to play, especially when you get tier 5, so you will have fun playing it. But again, if you like the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and if you dislike the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs down. But I shall see you beautiful guys later.